You can earn 500 Indian rupees a month and feel completely secure. Or you can earn hundreds of thousands a month and still lie awake at night, tight in the chest, worried about money. Strange, isn't it? But here's the truth nobody tells you. Your salary was never the thing deciding whether you're financially free. It never was. The real question, the one that actually matters, is this. If you lost your job tomorrow, right now, this second, how many months could you live comfortably without earning a single rupee? Not survive. Live comfortably. That one question, more than any number on your payslip, decides whether you're actually wealthy or just earning a good salary. Those are two very different things, and most people confuse them their entire lives. Let me show you what I mean with two people, Rohit and Amit. Both earn 100,000 Indian rupees a month. Both live in the same city. Both are around the same age, same kind of job, same kind of apartment. If you looked at their bank statements side by side, you'd think you were looking at the same person twice. Then, one ordinary week, both of their cars break down. Coincidence, but it happens. The repair bill for each comes to 60,000 Indian rupees. Rohit pays it, feels a small pinch, mutters something about mechanics overcharging, and gets on with his week. Amit's mind, on the other hand, completely unravels. He opens his banking app, checks the balance, remembers the EMI due in 4 days, remembers the credit card bill he hasn't paid off from last month. And suddenly this 60,000 Indian rupees problem doesn't feel like a car repair anymore. It feels like the first domino in a chain reaction he can already see coming. Same income, same bill, completely different reaction. Why? Here's the answer most people never sit with long enough to actually understand. It was never about salary. It's about net worth. Income is the water flowing into the tank every month. Net worth is how much water is actually sitting in the tank when nobody's watching. You can have a massive pipe flowing in and still have a cracked tank that never fills up. That's a myth. And in the journey of building net worth, there are 3 levels, 3 specific thresholds where your entire financial reality quietly shifts underneath you. Not gradually, almost like flipping a switch. Level 1 frees you from fear. This is roughly 1 million Indian rupees in net worth. To some people reading this, 1 million Indian rupees sounds enormous. Years away, maybe unreachable right now. To others, it sounds almost small, barely worth mentioning. But the number itself isn't the point. The effect is the point. This is the level where the ordinary chaos of life stops being able to knock you flat. A sudden medical bill, a few months of no salary between jobs, an unexpected repair at home, the car breaking down again. Below this level, every single one of these events sends a shockwave through your entire financial system. Above it, you feel the hit, but the system holds. For the first time, you realize something that changes how you carry yourself day to day. Not every problem has to become a money problem. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. The biggest return this level gives you isn't measured in interest rates or investment growth. It's measured in how quietly your mind sits at 2 a.m. Before this level, every expense feels oversized. Every risk feels like it could end you. Every mistake feels like it'll take months to recover from. As you climb toward this number, that low hum of financial anxiety, the one running in the background of almost every decision you make, starts to fade. You don't notice it disappearing. You just notice one day that it's gone. So level 1 doesn't make you rich. Let's be clear about that. What it does is rescue you from living every single day slightly braced for impact. Level 2 gives you options. Roughly 5 million Indian rupees to 10 million Indian rupees in net worth. Something interesting starts happening on the way to this number. For the first time, your money stops just sitting there and starts actually working. Compounding, which up to this point has been a concept in a textbook or a line in a mutual fund brochure, suddenly becomes something you can feel. Here's the math plainly. If you have 10 million Indian rupees invested and it earns an average 10% annual return, that's roughly 1 million Indian rupees a year showing up without a single extra shift, without overtime, without chasing one more client, without you doing anything at all beyond having gotten here. Your money is now an employee that never sleeps, never asks for a raise, and never complains about Mondays. But And this is the part that actually changes lives. The biggest gift of this level isn't the returns. It's freedom of choice. Suddenly, if your boss is unbearable, you don't have to silently absorb it, because walking away doesn't mean falling off a cliff. If you've been quietly dreaming of switching careers, the risk no longer feels like something that could ruin you. If starting a business has been sitting in the back of your mind for years, you finally have a safety net wide enough to actually try. For the first time, options exist. Real ones, not hypothetical ones you talk yourself out of over dinner. But right here, at exactly this level, a trap is also waiting. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it is patient, and it is very good at what it does. As income climbs, spending quietly climbs right alongside it. A bigger car, a bigger house, expensive gadgets that felt unnecessary a year ago and now feel essential. Vacations that keep getting pricier because the last one wasn't quite enough. Slowly, without ever making one obviously bad decision, every rupee of extra income gets swallowed by the lifestyle required to display that income. This is exactly why some people earning 300,000 Indian rupees a month are more financially stressed than people earning a third of that. The salary went up. The peace never did. So level 2 was never really about earning more. It's about protecting the gap, the space between what comes in and what goes out. That gap, quietly, patiently, is the only thing that actually builds the future. Not the size of the paycheck, the size of the gap. Level 3 gives you back your time. Roughly 50 million Indian rupees or more in net worth. This is the number most people fantasize about. They imagine that crossing it flips their entire life into something unrecognizable. And here's the twist. It does. Just not in the way almost anyone pictures. Most people assume this level means luxury cars in the driveway, a bigger bungalow, a lifestyle out of a magazine. But the actual, quieter gift hiding inside this number is something far more valuable than any of that. It gives you back your time. If your annual expenses run around 2 million Indian rupees, a corpus of roughly 50 million Indian rupees can bring you close to genuine financial independence, meaning your investments alone can support your entire lifestyle, whether or not you ever clock into a job again. And this is where the biggest question of your life quietly changes shape for the first time. Up until now, the question has always been, what do I need to do to make money? At this level, it flips completely. What do I actually want to spend my time doing? That shift, that single reframe question, is the real wealth. Because money, at the end of every calculation, every spreadsheet, every investment strategy, is just a tool. Its real job was never to buy things. Its real job is to hand you back control of your own hours. You can keep working because you love it. You can start the business you've been afraid to start. You can spend afternoons with your kids instead of missing them. The choice, finally, actually belongs to you. But here's a twist that very few people ever sit with long enough to understand. Having tens of millions in the bank does not mean every problem in your life quietly dissolves. If your biggest struggle has genuinely been a lack of money, then wealth will transform your life, no question. But if your struggle is a lack of purpose, or strained relationships, or loneliness, or health problems, money helps there only at the margins. It cannot buy any of those things back for you. This is exactly why some people reach financial freedom and still aren't happy, while others reach the exact same number and finally start living life entirely on their own terms. The number was identical. What they did with it wasn't. So if you had to compress all 3 levels into 3 lines, the first level frees you from fear. The second gives you options. The third gives you back your time. The difference between Rohit and Amit was never the salary. Both of them were earning the exact same number every month. The only real difference was where each of them stood on this journey, invisible to anyone glancing at their payslips. Financial freedom doesn't begin the day you become a multimillionaire. It begins the moment you figure out exactly which level you're standing on right now and start deliberately, patiently moving toward the next one. So ask yourself, honestly, right now, which level am I actually on? And what does the next one require of me? Because 10 years from today, one of 2 things will be true. Either your money will be working for you while you sleep, or you'll still be exactly where you are right now, working for it one salary at a time. Thank you.